I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll have roll call, please.
Secretary Robert Turk, present. Director Lori Sesney,
Present.
Treasurer Ron Lynch, President Dolores Schlicker,
Present.
Director Ty Damon,
Present.
Director Kelly Von Fintel,
Present.
Director Leroy Pinder is late, but he's expected. And then Member at Large, Commissioner Carolyn Brown.
From present. We'll have approval of the agenda.
I've got one thing to add under unfinished business. I'd like to give an update on the decorating project.
Okay,
And while we're at it, we might as well add, I wanted to add some, we need to discuss the settlement authority. So
okay, any other additions or subtractions?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second. Approved by Ty, seconded by Kelly.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. We'll have public comment.
No, approve the minutes. Approve
Oh, the minutes. Approval of agenda. Approval of the minutes for July the 22nd. Has everyone had a chance to look at them? And
I'll move to approve the minutes of July 22nd.
second. Motion by Ty, seconded by Kelly to approve the minutes. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Okay, now we'll have a public comment limited to 2 minutes per person. Please give your name and township.
And I'm gonna be the timekeeper for Dolores, so if you see me go like this, you got a few seconds, okay? Thank you.
Anyone wishing to say anything? Well, we'll move on then to presentations. Andy, do you have any?
Yeah, just a couple things. We're in the gym. We've got all the warranties turned in and they're all active. And I gave the various books to Wendy. We've got the most of the other warranties active, still finishing up a couple of them. So that's kind of just a final cleanup item. Paving, waiting to get a final number from Goodrich. We went through and tried to skinny up a couple of things, so he'd be ready to go sometime in September if we're in a position to pay for it. And then on the gym, we had a conversation with Kuhn Flooring to redo the lines, and we're working with the U.S. Pickleball fellow that's in charge of that to make sure we get all of our dimensions just right, and trying to basically have a 5-court plan that would be sanction ready. So that is ongoing. And then Kuhn has a fellow that's available very soon, for about a week, to actually start that work, so long as we have everything, all of our dimensions in line. And then on the, we got to check out to Liberty Glass, and they are expecting very soon to have our automatic door devices. They come from Stanley, and hoping to have those in, and then they'll get those installed. And then with Gym Master on the opposing door, we have the key lock mechanism to use your phone or key fob. So those things hopefully should be coming very soon. Got some information out to Mike Suter on our the software system called Gym Master. Just looking for a little direction from him on a couple of technical devices to see what exactly we need, and really that's more his bailiwick. So we'll get an answer on that soon, but that comes together with the door. So hopefully the door system and the Gym Master system will come together at the same time and enable the fitness membership to handle things electronically. And then we've got a few miscellaneous things electrically that have to be done. We've got 4 lights that finally came in, 4 more lights for the dining area, and a couple of resistors and some little things like that. And then on the HVAC, actually right above you is a 15-ton unit that has been acting up. We've had about 5 problems with it so far. Right now it's working, but I have asked them to replace the unit. So they're going to Daikin. It just seemed like it was a bit of a lemon just to have that many problems in such a short period of time. So looking to hopefully get that replaced. And then landscaping wise, again, so long as funds are available, in about a couple of weeks, we'd be looking to start bringing in shrubs and trees and things of that nature. So that's where we are. And lastly, on the C of O, I've had multiple meetings with Harry Harvey. I've sat out in the parking lot waiting for him multiple days for multiple hours, and at this point, still no Harry and still no C of O. So that's where that is. They called him. He was out of town for a little bit. Called him Monday morning. Said I'm available anytime, and haven't even heard back from him. So that's where that is. I guess we'll get it when we get it. So that's that. Any other questions? I'm happy to answer.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Andy.
Yeah.
The gym floor, wear and tear. I was a phys ed teacher, and that's your golden era. I mean, is there a thing like keep the street shoes off, or is it,
Yeah.
newer stuff?
Yeah, we should post a couple of those signs. I'll speak with Wendy about that. But yeah, there's no doubt that's we did a couple things. We limited access. If you notice the aprons outside of the doors send a clear message. This is not how you get in the gym. And that's one of the things to try to not have. Those doors are just for emergency exit purposes. But yeah, there's no doubt we should post a sign. I've got some extra frames, and so I'd say no street shoes would be an appropriate limitation.
I had one comment. It really, Andy and I were stepping off the courts for the new pickleball design. It really was a blessing in disguise. Didn't seem like it at the time, but not only are we going to have more courts, but they're going to be to the new revised spacing that the Pickleball Association is coming out. Not only what's current, but they're coming up with new amounts of space you're supposed to have between courts and at the end of the courts that we lucked out as far as that goes.
Yeah, we're gonna have 5. So they have a board themselves, and they take their standards very seriously. So they're slow to adopt them. But the guy that we're working with tells me they're coming, and he basically expects them to pass. So yeah, there's no doubt. It's funny. Initially, I have to be honest, I kind of poo-pooed the idea that these courts weren't safe. And then I really got into it and realized they're really not safe. And so, when our 5 new courts that are going to meet every minimum plus some. So we're going to have 5 really safe courts. And I was talking to Dr. Turek that there's people that do get hurt. It's a real thing. And by having these 5 courts, we'll get a reputation for having 5 very safe, just good feeling courts. So I agree. Initially, it seemed like a real chore. And then as a side note, Kuhn Flooring has been doing a lot of pickleball adaptation to community centers and what have you. He's going into gyms, sanding them down, putting new lines. And so he told me a story about when volleyball just first started going into gyms, and they just tried to put too many volleyball courts and people started getting hurt. So this is, I think, a natural kind of feeling out of what is safe. And so we're going to have 5 well-spaced, safe courts that hopefully are going to enable us to still be a sanctioned facility for.
So any court that a year ago that this company went and relined, they're going to be out of date. Now they might be way safer than what we have here, which are unusable, but we're going to have not only what's appropriate now, but when they come out with new recommendations. So it was quite fortunate.
Where are you putting 5 pickle courts in that gym?
So basically, where the basketball courts are, you get 3 that'll be going north-south. So that's east, west. And so in the gym, you'll have 3 lined up. They're 14 feet from the wall, 14 between each court. The court itself is 20 by 44. So you have about 20 feet to the south wall, about 20 feet to the next set of courts. And then right now we have 3 pickleball courts lined up that are just way too tight. And so those will get spread out and shifted. So you'll have 2 on the north side and 3 on the south side.
So is there still the basketball courts there?
Yeah, it would be over the line. So the lines, I think when, Dr. Turk and I were talking, when you're playing a particular sport, you're focusing on those lines, right? When you're playing basketball, you're aware of the 3-point line and what have you. And same with volleyball. I know with our daughter, they oftentimes have line judges right there, that are making the calls. And I think for pickleball, it looks like they're gonna be red lines, and it's pretty small. Like, Dr. Turk was saying, if you're in the kitchen or not, and you kind of know your lines. But the safe thing is real. I was telling Dr. Turk that my mother-in-law and then aunt or her sister, they play every day. They played at the new courts up in Alpena. They won't play there anymore. They played one time, one of them got injured. They're too tight. They're just they tried to cram too many in one area. And just like when Ty and Dr. Turk kind of identified the problem with our current layout, you see it's dangerous. Like, having good spacing is really important. And so I'm really happy with how I'm convinced we're gonna have 5 very safe courts.
So I think what she was referring to is that basketball will be played at a different time than pickleball, because the lines are overlapping and you can't do 2 sports at one time.
Yeah, but 24 hours in a day, so.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
let-
Andy.
Basketball courts lift up. I just had someone come in and wanting to do a wedding in there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I gave you remember I pointed out there, last I saw them, last I saw them, they were on top of the lockers.
okay, yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really easy to operate there. We have 2 remote controls for the basketball. There's obviously six of them. So you just hit number 1 up or down, number 2 up or down, and then you have to be fairly close to it, but not right there. And so they're all they all go up and down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have someone here from NIMSCA?
Is that me or Kim? I didn't know if it was Kim's. Or
Kim had,
and then
Kim had 2 things. She had went to the Region 9 meeting, and we, let's see. They're still looking for a food service, like the Tyler. I don't know what his title exactly was. Food service coordinator?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So NEMSCA is still looking. They have a fill-in Janet right now, so they are still looking for that. We were given a couple grants. One was a Drums Alive, which we'll get October 1. I already have a lady lined up who's she does the drums. You know what I'm talking, like cardio drumming. Yeah, yep. And then we also received a respite grant for $9,110. And the Drums Alive was for $2,427. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, NAMSCA.
I've got a couple things to add, and as Wendy stated, that was the fiscal year 2026 award notifications that were sent out. That was from the annual grants, so for a 1-year cycle, from the request for proposal process that was in March. The 3-year cycle was extended for a 4th year, so through this 2026, it will continue those contracts, and then in the spring, we will be doing an annual contract and a 3-year cycle for core programs. And then on September 11th, we'll be hosting Region 9ers for the directors of the region for the AAA at the Pace Northeast location, so we can get a tour of that and we'll have some good presentations from our HR director. And then we're just starting to begin year-end processes. It's a tighter timeline this year. So the state had moved it up on us 2 weeks. So we are in go mode. And so, yeah, that's all I have for today.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Does NEMSCA do any grant writing workshops?
Not that I know, at least not with the AAA. Maybe NEMSCA may. I don't know of any of those.
Actually, I'm signing up for one. I'm gonna, I think, get myself and Megan signed up. Consumers Energy is funding, they got grants to fund a workshop for grant writing.
Okay,
I can also check with MSU Extension. 'Cause
Thank
sometimes
you.
they offer things
let
like
me
that.
know about both of those.
Okay.
For like internal, like request for proposals, I actually talked to Wendy this morning about this. We're gonna have a meeting in January before the new cycle and go through all the applications just to like maximize their, their applications to be able to get it funded. Yeah.
Thanks.
So, yeah. Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
And then Wendy, you want to talk about the packet here, or I didn't know if somebody was coming, everybody has a packet in from about what
I don't
PACE
think-
is gonna offer.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's coming from there. Kim had her Region 9 meeting there. So she received this and just wanted everybody to see it. And then, like Caitlin said, I'll be going to a meeting for the directors on September 11th, and it'll be here at PACE.
Yeah, so he had to cancel on us right before, but he
Yeah.
has an open invitation anytime he
Yes.
wants to come
Yeah.
to speak about it.
Okay, is there anything else on that? Carolyn, you got,
Just a couple things. Our former treasurer, Cheryl Franks, has resigned. And the new treasurer is Sheila Scott. Her new deputy will be Amy Atrumba. Sheila was the deputy treasurer. She has just moved up a notch, so to speak. And then Amy was the other individual in that office, and she then has moved into, by choice, and the treasurer selection, she has moved into the position of deputy treasurer. And then the other, in my eyes, loss is that Tom Weichel, this is his last week. And the new prosecuting attorney who has worked through a significant part of August, getting in tune with the cases that are flowing through that office at this time. Elizabeth Reed, she has been a prosecuting attorney and is well experienced, and everybody's who needs to be is very happy with her coming on board. So I have met her. I've spent a little bit of time with her. Very pleasant young lady, and we'll be fortunate to have her, I think. So,
okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Any questions for Carolyn? Okay, executive director's report, Wendy?
I have a lot of stuff today here. The first thing I'll talk about is grants. Ty has been working on the Consumers Energy grant that we talked about at the last meeting. So I'll let him explain a little bit about that. He's submitted our first step.
Carolyn gave us the heads up that Consumers Energy was offering a grant of up to $250,000 that they were looking to give to one or several organizations. They had two objectives for this grant, community housing and community beautification. So I took that and applied and put together a proposal that if we were able to get this grant money, that we would use it in a project to beautify the whole exterior of this entire complex. Even though we have money budgeted for landscaping and all that, that's great, but this would be something that ties everything together and would be much more extensive that we could afford on our own right now. with things like raised gardening beds, so seniors don't have to bend over, a gazebo so people could meet in a community space, paved walking paths. You can't, if you got a walker, wood chips doesn't do you any good. You go 5 feet. So it was things like that. It was, if we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. You don't win if you don't try. It was turned in a couple weeks ago, and the first cut, they'll notify us on September 1st if we made the first cut. If we don't, I'll keep looking for another one. Another grant I'm working on is a generator. A new generator here. We were not able to, because of ownership issues, bring the generator from the old building here. It wouldn't have worked anyway. It was too small. It's quite a hurdle, a new generator for here. So I've identified 7 or 8 places, organizations, companies, foundations that offer grants specifically for community hubs, which in addition to a senior center, we are that. I haven't found an entry form yet, but I am identifying places. So that's next on my list to get about that. And there are a lot of things out there for the community, but they tend to be focused towards homeowners. Like Yamaha has a program through the American Red Cross where people can work with their local American Red Cross office, say, hey, I have somebody in my house, they've got an oxygen machine, blah, 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 I need a generator, and Yamaha will grant that person a generator. But those are portable generators. This thing here, it's going to be the size of your SUV. And it's a different kind of thing, but they are out there and I'm working on it. So if anybody's got any suggestions, let me know.
Someone did come to me one time, not too long ago, and ask if we could get the blood bank back. Is that something you could work on, or is that?
We're working on that.
Okay,
We've got some calls and.
okay,
We
we
have a
used to
blood
have
bank.
that, and it went over real well.
Yeah, got a beautiful room here now.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Patty and I have been working on that, so. For meals, we served 2,476 in July and 307 were congregate. Ugh, this is the killer. For in-home service, we have 28 people on our wait list right now. We're short direct care workers. I mean, it's not an Alcona County issue. It's a state of Michigan really issue. I mean, all the COAs are going through this. We're getting more and more people calling that want services. So we are definitely in dire need for some more direct care workers. We had our first big event on August 2nd with the local Harrisville radio station for their annual benefit. And what we were being told is the event went great. So our gym memberships, so far as of last night, we have sold 121 Alcona County resident memberships, 15 out of county, and we've sold 26 day passes. I will say a lot of them are monthly memberships. We haven't got a lot of, 6 months or a year or whatever. We've got a handful. But hopefully now that they've tried it for a month, at the end of this month, they'll maybe up it up to a few more months at a time. So, and then starting next Tuesday after Labor Day, we have worked out a schedule. So we will be offering the gym to be open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. We had a couple of our staff were kind of polling people, asking what and a majority of the people would prefer to see us open later at night right now until, you know, we get everything worked out over being open on the weekends. So that's what we're,
Wendy?
Yep.
We had approved, a 20% discount for what we were calling hometown heroes, firefighters, healthcare workers, teachers. And to get that 20% discount, they have to sign up for a year. I know we did a walkthrough with the superintendent of schools. Has there been any follow-up with that? Can we, now that school started, you know, maybe it's a good time to reach back out?
Yeah, nope, I got an email from him the other day, and at this point right now, they don't have the funding.
Okay.
Because a lot of their funding got cut, so they don't have the extra funding right now to pay for additional memberships.
But their employees,
But
if
the
they pay for
employees,
it themselves, would
yes.
still get the 20% off.
Okay,
What constitutes the hometown heroes? What are the 3 categories?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but, you know, local government workers, people that worked in healthcare in the county, people that worked in first responders, law
yep.
enforcement, teachers.
I don't remember voting on teachers and government employees getting that discount. Do we? Or is that, I mean, is that just a standard? I'd like to revisit that. I don't know if that would qualify as a hometown hero, a government employee or teacher. That's just me personal. But certainly the healthcare workers, certainly the firefighters, police officers.
I can check.
We
with
definitely discussed teachers.
Yeah, I can check with Megan when we get done here. Exactly.
Yeah.
My next thing is events. I know Ray has been working with people. We've got multiple events scheduled. We've got meetings actually scheduled in this room. We've got, we just met with somebody the other day for a wedding. She's got baby showers lined up. So we are getting people coming in here wanting to do events. So one thing I'm having a meeting with the kitchen this afternoon, and I wanted to throw this out here. Most all of the senior centers serve their congregate meal for lunch. I guess thoughts would be what we could do of maybe changing our congregate meal to lunchtime. And then we could actually maybe starting out a couple nights a week, do a dinner, like a dinner that anybody can come in. They have to pay, you know, it would have to be totally different funding from the congregate, the NEMSCA funding. So, but that's kind of something we've talked about, or even doing some breakfasts, you know, a day or two a week, just different. There's just so many endless opportunities, you know.
I mean, I'm not going to have an opinion on it because, you know, I've come here a couple times for dinner, but I'm not a regular. I think you need to do a survey of the people who come here. And if 90% of the people who come here for dinner say, this is the only time I can come, this isn't going to work for me.
Right.
If you have lunch, I can't eat, then you don't do it. But if half of them say, wow, that's way better, then it's a different discussion. So I would get some feedback from the people that actually use it. You know, the whole notion of, well, would we get more people if, no, nobody knows.
Right.
Let's just make sure we don't disadvantage the people we're serving already and just get some feedback. I mean, it's just a simple survey laid out on the table. Do that for, you know, a week and you're going to have pretty good data set to make some decisions from.
Okay.
Yeah, my understanding from NEMCA, the award that we get is specifically for congregate meals, and it was about $27,000. But our millage funds, it doesn't specifically say that the funds have to be done for congregate meals. I mean, all it has is 60 and older. So, you know, that there's a definition there of if we're using money that has to be a congregate meal as versus providing for seniors at other times meals that aren't congregate. So I think there's flexibility, and especially when Lori Sauer came in and talked, she said that there's more bookkeeping involved, but
Right.
I've also heard that people would like a Friday night meal.
And
I've
that,
heard-
we've been talking about that too. We did try, I know it was suggested, we tried to put it out there for a grab and go for like this week. We got 2 people, that's it, that signed up.
Well, but if we put up a little tiny sign and don't do anything else to promote it, you can't call it a failure. You could say it's a miracle that 2 people noticed the sign and raise their hand. I think just try it again.
Right,
And
oh,
maybe
we
we
will.
put something in the community events list, you know, in the paper,
Right.
and maybe a little ad, just keep.
I mean, we've
time.
been putting it, yeah, and we've been
Right.
putting it out in Facebook, and we're kind of in the process right now too of getting our website switched over, so I think it's kind of, people are seeing one and not the other, so I think,
Communication is hard
Yeah.
in this area completely, but I completely support your idea for the lunch, switching to lunch. Every other area does their, not that we're every other, but most people are used to the lunch meals at Commission on Aging's. And then if we could offer perhaps a different style of food for dinner and attract a larger audience. I know a lot of people would take advantage of that, especially people working out, and we could strategize the food offerings in that area. I think we'd be really successful at that.
there's just so many endless ideas that we have, so it's just time, it's gonna take time, you know, so, okay, I do have an all-staff meeting scheduled on Friday, September 5th. It's mandatory that we have 2 a year. So the ACCOA portion of the building will be closed that day, but we will have the gym open. But I think Megan's been putting out there that, you know, won't be taking memberships or anything that day so they can stop in the office any other time. So another really cool thing is we had a previous board member donate 2 gigantic bouncy houses. I don't know if anybody's seen, but we started advertising, you know, kind of book your birthday party, but they're huge. Like, they will go up in the gym. That's the only place they're gonna go up in. So that can be a really good thing for birthday parties. I mean, I was looking online, I did some research of how much it costs to rent one of those, and I about cracked, like, yeah, they're a lot. They're a lot.
that was Pam McKinnon, by
Yes.
the way. So thank you, Pam.
Yes.
I would just give the heads up to our insurance company, see if they have an opinion about it.
Okay.
I'm not having an opinion, but
Or if we
Let's-
need any writers.
yeah, let's
Right,
just.
okay, good
that's all.
idea, yep.
One other thing that one of the members that's running for the board, she commented to me that if we need someone and can't afford to hire somebody at this point, she would be willing to come in for a few hours on Saturday afternoon when she's out of work and volunteer to have the fitness room open.
Okay.
And she thought too, if each board member would do that 1 week a month, we could get 2 months of Saturdays and it wouldn't cost us anything.
I certainly don't see any doubt that eventually there will be weekend hours. It's just,
Yes.
people have to be tolerant and understanding. I mean, we don't even have our certificate of occupancy yet. I mean, we've been open less than a month. Some of these
Right.
things are just gonna take time.
And then the last thing I have is the bus is going to auction tomorrow.
Yeah, the bus has been online for a week and a half. It's getting some interest. Len at the auto shop in Lincoln is to call me if he gets a hard offer. So far, no hard offers, but lots of interest. They can check how many people have seen it online from the auction company's website. So the goal is, to sell at auction, maximize as much money as we can. But Len and his staff did a really nice job of cleaning it up. We invested a few $100 in their labor. That's going to get us much more in return. They took all the decals off it. It's easier for somebody to visualize what it's going to be, and it's in such good shape. We don't want to hide anything. So they took the decals off and scrubbed the roof. Since it was stored outside, the roof was in bad shape, and they fixed one brake line. So it's out of our hands. It's the gods of the auction. Hopefully they'll smile on us, but yeah, that's moving along.
He did tell me that he had to replace the other brake line too now.
Okay.
So there's gonna be a little bit of a cost, but I think we will recoup that.
Oh, yeah.
If we can have it looking nice and go to the sale. Okay, do you have anything else,
No,
Wendy?
If I
Carolyn?
may, Madam Chairman, I would suggest that, since there seems to be a question regarding the teachers and employee as far as the hometown heroes, if that were able to be, rather than setting it aside for a month from now, if you, before the end of the meeting, were to recess for a few minutes, get clarification on it, come back into session and make a decision on it. That way you've saved a month of saying to somebody, I don't know what we're going to do about that. I think you would have a firm answer then. I would expect you would have a firm answer by the members that are here.
You mean like today, take a 10-minute recess?
Yeah, I can go check with Megan.
Whatever's necessary. It may only be 2 or 3 minutes, it might be 15 minutes, but whatever is necessary to get the clarification on it and then move forward with the decision today to, rather than holding off for another 30 days.
Okay. Does everyone agree with that?
Yeah, we can add that to new business.
Okay.
Sure. Mhm.
I had something to add. Wendy has this next month, has to submit a proposed budget to the finance committee. The finance committee reviews that and then makes a recommendation to the board to adopt a budget, and that has to be done in the September meeting. So she's got a lot of work. I'm sure she's already been doing that. My recollection is that as far as the shortage of direct care workers, that it is not due to we are underpaying them compared to other.
No,
In fact, I believe we've raised their pay twice since I've been on the board. So that's not an issue that you're considering.
It's a state, it's probably across the country, I'm assuming, but
And then
I mean-
the only other thing, looking at the gym memberships, I don't have my calculator right in front of me, but it looks like maybe 90% of the memberships that have been sold are for Alcona residents. I'd love to see how many of those Alcona residents are Alcona 60 and older. So we can say, look, this facility, this portion of the facility, 90% of the people who are using it are Alcona seniors, or as opposed to just Alcona. I'd just like to have that broken down to how many are Alcona seniors.
yeah,
Okay. Anything else for Wendy?
Can we ask questions or no?
We'll have
Comment at the end.
Thank you.
treasurer's report.
Okay. Tower Street as of 8/25/25. Assets, working funds, $633,604.30. Savings, $593,078.24. New building project funds, $1,267.36. Received in full 12.5 million as of 7/24/24. Total amount spent as of 8/25/2025, $12,299,610.81. Amen.
Thank you.
I'd like to request at this time a modification to the reporting from the financial, the treasurer. Just stating balances is very difficult for the board members to really have any idea of the financial situation of our organization, and in order to be fiscally responsible as we are expected to do, I request that we have the standard financial statements that are usually submitted and are typically commonplace in organizations. And that is, as mentioned here, the monthly financial reports generally include statement of activities, revenue, expenses, net assets.
Madam Chairman, could we accept the treasurer's report first? Let's vote to accept the treasurer's report.
I would make a motion to accept the treasurer's report, subject to audit.
Second.
All in favor? Or no, we have to do a roll call?
No.
No?
No, because, yeah, we
Okay.
just accepted, you know.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
We vote on that, but, okay.
Bob made the motion and Ty seconded, right?
To accept it.
Just to accept the report.
To accept it, okay. Okay, and is it at this time now that we,
Yeah, Lori's got a new
Yeah,
thing to
go over it?
discuss.
so, yes, generally for any business or nonprofit, these are the monthly financial reports that are submitted so that the board can review and state the financial position, not just the assets, but the liabilities and operating cash flows. So I'm suggesting we do standard statement of accounts, profit and loss, look at the monthly budget to actual comparison, year-to-date budget to actual, balance sheet, cash flow, large account receivables, any significant impacts to the budget and operating financials that happen that month. I know we have a finance committee for all the nitty details, but this is just a summary report for the rest of the day.
so is this something that we would maybe think about and bring it up at the next meeting?
Certainly a finance committee meeting. I mean, all upgrades in all aspects of what the board does are welcome. And I think that's really important. Why Carolyn is on the finance committee is because we have obligations to make certain reports to the commissioners that she's been more than kind as far as keeping us, giving us some slack there. But yeah, this would certainly be an upgrade.
Was this information available from our accountant?
These are standard reports that a push of a button you can generate,
Right,
whether
but-
you're using Quicken or an accountant or any bookkeeping.
So we
Software.
could get it from our accountant that we already have.
I would,
Or bookkeeper.
based on Lori's
Yeah.
suggestion, I would make a motion that Wendy and Rowan get with our accountants and report back to us at the next board meeting, what's it gonna take to do this? Because it might be really simple, and it might, there might be, well, sorry, bullet 2, section 4, that's not as easy as you think. we definitely need more than we have now. Whether this exact list is the answer, I don't know. Let's ask the group to come back and say, but it's, you know, the treasurer, the executive director. I agree, our finance committee tends to deal with more tactical stuff. Let's have the two of them come back to us with a report. Say, that's a great suggestion, here's what's realistic. So that's my motion, is to have these two come back to us with a point of view.
I'd second that.
Okay, motion, any discussion? Motion by Ty, seconded by Dr. Turek to have the executive director and the finance committee and treasurer meet and come back to the board with a recommendation. All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose?
And my motion was not to include the executive committee,
Oh, and
just.
the finance committee, I thought
No,
I
I'm
said.
sorry, not the finance committee.
Oh,
It was Rollin and Wendy, and they can bring in
okay,
Lori. But
Just a report what's
Yeah, just-
feasible.
just to report
Okay.
what's
Yeah.
feasible.
okay,
Because it's finance committee's not, it's not voting on anything, it's just making a report.
okay, thank you. Okay, secretary's report,
Nothing that I can't work into other places, so nothing.
okay. Committee reports, nominating committee.
Okay, I guess
Lori?
that's me.
Yeah,
And my apologies, I didn't realize that we were not going to have a list for the
they're just in time.
committees. Yes, Mary. For the board positions. So thank you, Wendy, for doing this, making a copy of the list that we submitted to Dolores for presenting to the board. But after all the applicants came in, and we had quite a few of them, which was very glad to see. These are the lists of the people who met the criteria and had applied to run for the board. So we're going to start the election on September 1st. Right? That was right.
I mean, the nominating committee, when you look it up, it says it can and should evaluate all candidates for suitability and their qualifications to be on the board. So if somebody doesn't get put on, it doesn't mean that they're not qualified. It might mean that the conflict of interest that they have with the board might be too problematical to have them on the board. Or running for a position. That's how I understand it. I mean, you consulted with the lawyer 3 times to understand that if there's an applicant that has a conflict of interest, that doesn't necessarily disqualify the person from running, but it would mean you have to have special steps taken. They would have to remove themselves from any financial discussion. They would have to, potentially, we'd have to shut off the board, the meeting, and just, it would be complicated if somebody has to remove themselves from every discussion if they have a financial involvement.
There's several reasons why somebody might not be considered for the board. And the reasons are laid out in bylaws, and if they don't meet all the criteria, then we couldn't put them forward.
Yeah, I mean, the bylaws are really unclear there. It says the nominating committee meets and provides a slate for the board to vote on. But you have to do more research to say what a nominating committee really is supposed to do. And it's more than just collecting applications and doing a background check. You are supposed to evaluate candidates.
My opinion would be the nominating committee is supposed to do whatever our bylaws say. I've been involved in organizations where it said the nominating committee absolutely positively cannot make any qualitative judgment on a candidate whatsoever. I've had others where they've had to publish a list of criteria that changed every election and numerically evaluate people against that. One's not right, one's not wrong. That's what this organization's rules were. That's what that. Ours basically say they make sure they're qualified. Obviously, a conflict of interest would be a disqualification, but you know, the list that I have, I'm assuming these are people who raise their hand, pass the background check, and nothing in our bylaws prohibits them. This isn't the 8 most wonderful people that apply. So I would move to accept the list that's been provided by the nominating committee based on their, due diligence on background checks and conflicts of interest. So that's a motion.
I second.
Okay.
Who seconded it?
Ty made the motion and Lori seconded to accept the list of applicants as presented. All in favor?
Well, I'd like discussion.
Oh, discussion, okay.
So in the discussion, I would say that if any board member felt like somebody was removed that shouldn't be, they should vote no on this. And then we would have to go to the process of individually. But if every board member, you vote your conscience is what I would say. We don't have to rubber stamp this. But the nominating committee, if they did the work and they did what they should have done, if they removed somebody, they had cause to remove somebody.
And do we announce that at this time, or?
I don't think we're announcing any names, in my opinion.
Okay.
We just vote to accept this list? Yes or no?
Okay.
Right.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, motion by Ty, seconded by Lori to accept the list of applicants. Motion passed.
Okay, regarding publications, obviously it has to be published September 1st, but there's nothing that prevents us from sharing this list. We just voted on it. We just accepted it. There's nothing stopping us. There's nothing in our bylaws that say you got to keep it secret.
No, because they're gonna go on a ballot.
Yeah, they're going to go on a ballot. So,
And it has to be posted. You have to have notice of the election, giving the dates, times, and the final slate of board candidates shall be posted at each service site.
okay, I would move that at the end of this meeting, we post the list of candidates. We want people to be excited about who's running. We want people to discuss who's running. We want people to vote. This is all a good thing. We want people to say, oh, Mike, I can't pronounce his last name. I like him. I like him. So let's just, I don't think we have to vote on it. Let's just ask Wendy, will you have Megan, post on one of the bulletin boards here? Hey, everybody, get excited. Voting starts September 1st. Here's our list of people that are running.
Correct. And what we did one time 3 years ago when we had numerous candidates is that we made up a short bio, like a 4-line bio on each candidate, and then provided that with the ballots to the in-home service people or the home delivered meals, as well as people who come to vote here. So just a short bio on everybody else. So we also had I believe we had a kind of like a meet the candidates dinner sometime during the month of September. So if we could do that also, I think that would be beneficial.
Yeah.
Voting goes from September 1st through the day of our next meeting in September. And then the following day at the dinner is when the nominating committee gets together in public, opens up ballots, totals things up, then there. And one thing that people need to know, in order to vote, you have to be a participating member. And to be a participating member, you have to have an updated NAPAS form on file. There's qualifications. So there's candidates who are not going to be able to vote for themselves because they can't become a participating member because they aren't of 60 years of age. So that's you have to be a participating member and you have to be 60 years of age or the spouse of a 60-year-old person who is a member. My recollection is you have to do an NAPAS form every year, right? So there's people who they come in and the board is not involved in the election process. That's handled by Wendy and her staff. That if somebody wants to vote, they have to make sure that they've given a ballot, and then Megan or Wendy or whoever will check off they've already got a ballot. So we don't get involved in that. That's handled by the ACCOA staff.
That was one of the questions we were wondering. Are we allowed to write their name down? Like if somebody turns in a ballot, just so we know that somebody's not turning in 10 ballots?
You have to. Somehow they shouldn't even get a ballot without.
I was trying to understand how we run elections here, and so we had a long discussion on how we do it to make sure that people aren't putting in two votes, or especially with the handing out the ballots with the home care. They're supposed to fill it out and return it right then. Or if they're unable, they pick it up the next week, is the rule for election here. So I know we have ran into some conversation about whether or not they can just drop it off or bring it in later. And how are we going to know who that came from, or somebody forgets that they voted and they try to vote again, and so you have to have a list of actual members to make sure just members are voting and not non-members, because people might not even, and I'm not suggesting any maliciousness at all, but people might just not know. And they're like, oh, I want to vote. And like, oh, I have to be a member. Oh, I can't vote. That kind of thing. So,
and that means a member of ACCOA, not a gym membership. So that's something we're going to really have to get out to people too, because they're going to be like, well, I'm a member. Yeah. We've been having to explain a lot to them too. Like when they get a gym membership, they're like, they think when they are a member here at ACCOA, like they come in for euchre and stuff, we've come across that they're a little confused because they think that the gym members, everything comes together. So, we've been having to explain to them, this side is free, like this is of our nonprofit, this is our stuff. And then that side is a separate membership. So we'll have to be very.
Okay, so.
How many spots are we voting on?
Five.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have 9 people and we have 5.
So we're discussing voting on the motion. We haven't voted yet, correct? Have we voted to accept the slate?
Yes.
Okay, so we're just talking
Yes.
election stuff. Okay, great. All right. Well,
We should put together, we had a lot of discussion about the timeline of events, so we probably need to write that up.
yeah, I think the nominating committee got some stuff down on paper. Here's the dates. Here's how we're gonna drop off envelopes at home healthcare visits. Here's how we're gonna pick them up.
And obviously, if there's 5 positions open and there's 8 people running, 3 people aren't going to be elected. But our bylaws provide for every committee to have as many non-board members on any committee as you want. So I would hope these people can be asked to be serve on committees, as well as former board members. I'll want to form on a committee if I'm asked. Ty, we know he's going to be involved intimately. So, I mean, it's an opportunity for these three people, even if they're not elected to the board. Hey, can you serve on this committee? Can you serve on these committees and still be involved? And that's right in our bylaws. There's no limit to how many non-board members can be on any committee.
Yeah, we were excited to see so much excitement to get involved in the ACCLA, so.
Okay, thank you. And the finance committee?
The finance committee met on the 12th. Before that meeting, I put together kind of a history report of the construction expenses and where we were with outstanding costs and bills and contracts. That was, my best efforts in talking to different people to try to get some sense around what's, a complicated issue that's been going on for 3 years. The committee discussed and voted on a list of suggested actions. That's the letter in the one pager. It's got one bullet on the next page, sorry. That's dated August 12th. So that's the suggested actions. I don't want to go through this bullet by bullet, but in the discussion, if people have questions or something we need to add, but this is suggested actions that the finance committee is suggesting to the whole board to take to wrap up the building project. And so this is coming from the finance committee. I'm making a motion for the board to accept this list of suggested actions, and looking for a second.
I second.
Lori?
I second.
Okay.
Okay, motion by Ty, seconded by Lori to accept the,
Suggested action.
yes, the suggested actions written up by Ty. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. I do have one question that, and I looked in there and I couldn't really figure out an answer. How much longer do we think before we will get full occupancy? Get the keys turned over to us and say, this is now, the project is done, the building is ours, our responsibility at this point. Does anybody know what, is it like a week away, or is it like 6 months away, or Andy,
Yeah.
do you have any ideas?
On as far as our final C of O, I'm, saying any day. I don't know, I really don't know what Harry is up to. Like I say, I've sat in the parking lot for multiple hours, multiple days, waiting for Harry to come by, and then he just calls me and says, oh, I'm too busy or what have you. So I don't know what's behind that. I really don't. And so, but I assume, I just called him Monday morning, haven't heard back from him. So I'm saying that should be very soon. As far as remaining work to be done, we've got the paving, which I believe the optimum date is September 15th. We're gonna want to make sure we have money to pay him. That's about $100,000. I met with Bruce Goodrich, so he's available in that rough time slot. That's the second coat of asphalt on the parking, the drives. And then the only other real work to be done, well, we've got the redoing of the floor, and that's about a 2-week undertaking. They should start in about a week. So that's, say, 3 weeks from now. Same with the doors. So my answer is that by mid to late September, including landscaping, but depending on what happens with Ty's grant. So, but I think you'd say the end of September, all things construction related will be done. As far as, quote, the keys being turned over, that's already happened. But I understand, if I understand your inquiry, it's really like, when are we going to be done with all this? And my answer would be towards the end of September.
And I think also an answer is, the recommendation of the finance committee on things we need to do is sitting down with Andy and saying, okay, what stuff might have been in the list 3 years ago? Sorry, Andy, I can't see over that chair. What stuff might have been in the list 3 years ago and just isn't there now, like the generator, we're gonna seek this thing. What stuff's in the budget, but the world's not gonna end if we don't do the landscaping. The world's not gonna end if we don't put a second coat on the parking lot, as long as we fix the little steps. So we really do need to identify what are the things that we absolutely positively need to do, get our COO, move on, and then what are some things that we're just gonna have to postpone. And we need to sit down and talk about that. And, you know, it's partly opinion and it's partly fact. You know, you might come back and say, no, if you don't put another coat on that parking lot, it'll be dirt by spring. I don't know. But that is one thing that's in that finance committee recommendation is let's get a real detailed list together on stuff like that.
Yeah, and then along those lines, there's kind of the next step of things that we'd love to have, and whether it's grant money or profit money or what have you, over time, we'll get to keep going with, if you will, adding to the thing. But yeah, so I don't know what's on your list there, but we've got some bills, people that we're going to want to pay real soon to avoid problems.
Yeah. Well, we get it.
Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions or concerns?
Finance committee had one last, Ty had one last document to go over.
So yeah, sorry, in your packet, I just got this letter yesterday. Just being good financial stewards, we had reached out to 3 local credit unions to see what the process was for a letter of credit. Not because we actually need any money right this second that we don't have, but what if we do in the future? To have a letter of credit lined up. The nice thing about a letter of credit is it doesn't cost you anything till you use it. If a bank says, yeah, we approved you for 200,000, it just sits there. And then when you say, oh my God, we had a fire and we need some money, they have it. I started with AAACU. They're right here in Lincoln and are who we do our banking with now. Met with the gentleman face to face. He talked to Patty a lot. He was very helpful, very positive about the process, but we got a letter yesterday and they said, not at this time. And that's okay. They basically just said, hey, it's awesome that you have the collateral of these houses. It's awesome. You've got gym memberships. All that stuff's great, but we're a bank, we're conservative, we want more data. And you still have a lawsuit that's hanging out there. So they pretty much just said, not right now. I'm not suggesting we go to the other 2. Now we know the process. The next bank's underwriters are gonna be the same thing, right? So it was worthwhile effort. Now we know we have a relationship with them. They have a relationship with Patty. So I think we just chalk this one up as, okay, we made some good efforts and we'll sit tight on this issue for right now. And just because one person said no now doesn't mean another person wouldn't say yes, or the same person wouldn't say yes in the future. That was kind of their point of view. So that's a news flash.
I thought it was fascinating in the process that they had no interest or concern or that what this building itself was worth.
So
it didn't matter to them whether it was worth 12 million or 100 million. As far as them, it had no value to them.
Well, I mean, what's interesting is think about it if you were in their shoes. If you're going to give somebody a loan, you say, what's the collateral against that loan? And we say, well, we have 2 things as collateral. We have this wonderful giant building, and we have 8 bungalows that are 100% rented and are beautiful and affordable. So the bank says, "Ooh, I like that. I like those bungalows. I could see myself owning that and being a landlord. I don't want your giant building. What am I going to do with it?" Now, they wouldn't have wanted the old senior center either. And the old senior center was worth next to nothing. So yes, we have it is an asset. This is an asset to our community. I can't believe it. Every time I come here, that book is filled. There are people, dozens of people every day, more healthy than they were before. There are people in congregate meals that aren't in a smelly basement. It's wonderful. It's an incredible asset. That doesn't mean it's collateral. Because for it to be collateral, what would somebody do with this place? When they, most places downstate are getting turned into Amazon warehouses, because that's the only thing that needs that much square feet. So it's an asset. Just because somebody doesn't want to take it as collateral does not devalue it. To me, it's thank God those bungalows are there, because that really gives the organization flexibility it didn't have otherwise.
I also thought it was fascinating that the fact that we have money in reserve that is held for reserves, that they basically kind of held that against us, that, well, you have money, why would we offer you a line of credit when you have money? I may be misphrasing, I didn't discuss it,
but again, that's their standard reply. My answer to them when we were applying is we want to get ahead of the game. Anybody that's got a mortgage on their house doesn't take 3 days. It takes 3 months from the time you get a letter and apply and give them the same piece of paper 85 times, so it's fine. I don't see it as a negative at all. I think we learned a lot. Patty learned what they're looking for and what's kind of paperwork to make them happy. So I think we move on. I've still got a file folder with the contacts at the other 2 banks. And a month from now, the board could say, no, let's go to the next one, or let's go to both. Okay, thanks, Bob. I forgot about that.
Any other discussion?
I got the numbers. You want me to quick give them to you?
Oh, how many?
Yep.
What percentage of that 121, I believe it was, what percentage were 60?
126, this is kind of funny. The 60 plus, we had 63 members, and the 60 and under 63, so it's like 50-50. So, and then what they are giving a 10% discount to for the Hometown Heroes is veterans, firefighters, EMT, and the sheriff department, state police. And she said on here, some of them have declined when offered.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Should we add teachers onto that?
I thought we had already discussed teachers for sure,
Okay.
because we gave them a tour. Yeah,
I know that we have been talking with the superintendent about him
Right.
purchasing
Right.
memberships at a bulk rate, a large amount, and we would give them a discount if they purchased a large amount. I do not remember talking about any kind of, and certainly I don't remember about the courthouse or government employees. I don't remember that discussion, having any discussions at all. But yeah, we can discuss this now if you want, or.
Well, no, let's not. We
Yeah.
put that in new business. Let's leave it there. So that's the end of the report from the finance committee.
Okay, next we'll have the personnel committee.
Just a personnel committee met, you can read over the objectives and summary there.
Okay. Unfinished business, sale of the van, we've discussed that already, right?
Yeah, we already discussed that. The next thing was the decorating project. 3 people have raised their hand. I've talked to 2 of them, met with 1 of them, and still trying to get more interest. We're not ready to pull the trigger on that, and I don't have a budget yet. I would like to ask Wendy to have, when the new website is finalized, to take, a picture of the framed photo with the frame Leroy made, take the flyer and promote more participation, looking for more hand raisers. We're just so far, it's only been, less than 60 days since the topic's actually been out there, but, have 2 very capable artists and a photographer that are willing. So I just think we just need to promote it a little bit more, get some more interest. I also have the name of the art teacher at the high school. I think we could do something fun with students, give them a topic,
That'd be great.
So that's where that's at. So still trying to get more interest at this time.
Okay, thank you, Ty. Anything else under unfinished
Yeah,
business?
the settlement authority. Previously, the board had authorized our president, Phil Potter, to have full settlement authority. Phil is not on the board anymore. Just wanted to make sure we probably move that to Dolores. Dolores and I have a meeting tomorrow in Bay City. So we just need to make sure that Dolores has been given the same settlement authority that was previously given to Phil. I would make a motion to that effect.
Second.
Motion by Dr. Turek, seconded by Roland for me to go with Dr. Turek tomorrow
And to have authority to make a settlement.
and to have the authority to make the settlement with Dr. Turek's help.
Yeah, I was an alternate, so I'll be there, obviously.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, do we need to take a recess now? I wrote down recess for some reason.
No, we just need to put that Hometown Heroes thing back on the table. I'll retract what I said about city workers because now I'm remembering I had done some research for Wendy on the topic, and Tawas does it, but Tawas is supported by the city and the city taxes, and the city pays for it directly. Then the city took it away from their employees. And so they decided, well, let's give them a discount because they had it before. That's a bridge too far. We don't need to go. So that had its own history. What almost every community had that had a program that, again, I'm calling it Hometown Heroes, but, police, fire, EMS, and many of them had teachers.
So I'm going to say police, fire, EMS. It's just my person. But if you work for Alcona Health Center, that doesn't make you a hometown hero. Police, right. Fire, EMS, 911, first responders.
No. Yes.
Fire departments.
Yeah.
Fire
Yeah.
department.
Yeah.
Fire department, of course.
What if they reside outside of the county?
Oh, reside but work here. I think that would be good because they're here. This is where they, it makes sense. Again, it's 10%. What are we even arguing about?
Right.
So,
Yes.
But the recollection was that they had to do a full year membership. Is that what your recollection?
Get the discount.
Okay, Hometown Heroes, 1 year membership, 10% discount.
Regardless of where they reside.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, they have to reside or work here.
Yeah.
Right.
And teachers. And starting with 10%, if nobody does it, then we bump it up to 15. Or not, but, okay. Lori, you want to read off that list again? You were taking notes. Good.
Oh, I just wrote Hometown Heroes, 10% discount, 1 year membership, but, that's,
Police, fire, EMS, first responders.
first responders.
9/11.
Well, yeah,
911.
they're police
Yeah.
and teachers.
What about veterans?
That's, I
That
would
be
not,
separate.
that's something separate.
It's
Let's,
different from Hometown Heroes.
yeah,
Yes.
because then you get into active duty or not. So
That'll be a military discount.
I would move that,
Remove that one. Okay.
I would move that we accept the list that Lori just read for 10% discount. With the criteria she stated.
1 year membership, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I made the motion. I'll second it. Leroy second.
Motion by Ty, seconded by Leroy to accept the Hometown Hero list as, at a 10% discount.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, that was under new business.
Yep, so next is public comment.
Okay, we'll have public comment. You have 2 minutes. Please state your name and township. If anyone would like to speak.
No, what,
I'm sorry.
public comment on anything? Is there
Anything, anything, just do us a
Okay.
favor,
Okay.
stand up, state your name and township.
No, you
You
don't.
have
I
to.
will stay on one leg.
Thank
Until
you.
Dr. Turk gets done with me.
Okay, all right.
Maybe two. Anyway, Sharon Morgan, I don't know, Harrisville, Elkona.
Well, thanks. Sarah.
Anyway.
Go ahead.
But with all your talking and stuff, like I said, I'm a retired teacher, phys ed, back in the day. But with the gym and all these activities, what I'd like to know is, I see a fire extinguisher, how about first aid? On the premises, are there places that you're going to mount and put first aid equipment? That if some person fell down in the bathroom and cut their head, is there stuff there that you can go get before you have to call somebody? Calling somebody, how many people are going to be trained in first aid and CPR that are gonna be on board here somewhere?
The whole staff, it's mandatory.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know
Yes.
that, so it's
And
gonna
I
go.
actually, we have some first aid stations around here.
Okay,
And I literally just this morning ordered a few more up, so we had some more updated stuff, so, yeah.
And this isn't supposed to be a Q&A, but this is easy. There are 2 AEDs, one in the lobby and one in the workout room.
well, that's good, that's good. Okay, that's 30 seconds. The other one is, for seniors, I know of a group, that used to be in the old building that knit and gave away the hats and gloves to needy people and stuff, and I saw one of them, and I said, hey, with this new building, are you gonna maybe come back over here? And they said they were gonna check into coming here because, you know, this would be a place to congregate with more people.
Yeah.
And groups for seniors, the non-paying seniors, which might work some of them into, you know, some of the other activities that they can do.
I've been talking to a Sandy, if that's who,
Okay.
in a
And
knitting
they,
group.
and see, I don't know all the different people to check with, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Stephanie Ford, Hawes Township, Elkona County. I'm 60, I'm senior. I plan to be a member at the gym. I'm gonna buy my mom maybe a month membership. She's 85. See if she wants to be a member as well. I'll try to get her out of the house to be more social and more active because she's becoming very reclusive. So I think this is a great building and a great opportunity for her to do those things. I came to the grand opening and checked it out. It was great. It was awesome. I really didn't plan on coming here to speak or to present in any way, but I find myself compelled to do that now after hearing the conversation. The first thing that comes to mind is that Wendy mentioned cardio drumming. I think that's awesome. You got a grant for that. That's great. I am a licensed massage therapist in the state of Michigan. I'm also a registered yoga instructor. I'm a walking example of what yoga and massage can do for you. I started doing those things at the age of 40. I started massaging 10 years ago. It's excellent for seniors. It's excellent preventative medicine. It's something that we need here at this facility, and I'm an advocate for that. I've been trying to talk to Ray about it and get it to come to fruition. I understand that you're only a month in, 60 days in, whatever it is, and I understand there's a lot of other things that you are concerned with right now. Me, as a massage therapist, my biggest demographic living here at Hubbard Lake are seniors, and I'm very concerned for them. I'm not here to get rich, but I am here to make a living. What I see happening here is a lot of interest in yoga class from non-seniors, paying members who are going to keep this building going. So if you can offer them things like cardio drumming, yoga, and massage that they will pay money for, then they will come in here and they will pay your membership fees. They'll pay me separately, but they will pay your membership fees, which is going to keep your business going. So I want to keep that on the table, and I want to keep that current in your minds as board members, that it's good for the seniors and it's good to keep this building going and everything that you're working for going as well. So that's really all I have to say, and thank you, because it's good for me, it's good for my mom, and it's good for everybody in the community. It's beautiful. So thanks. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Andy?
That's one to add. So with the gym master that Ty and Wendy and Mike and I are working on, they have a very easy add-on for people like her, and you can schedule the classes, and then whatever Wendy agrees with her as far as the split or the revenue situation, it really just pops up to every member. Do you want to do yoga, the 8 o'clock class on Tuesday? Yes, I'm in. Boom. She sees who's going to her class, and then that person gets charged whatever the fee is. And then Wendy makes her arrangement with any instructor for that matter. So very soon, that's one of my top priorities is I knew we needed the door to bring that all together, but very soon that's going to be a key part of having this all function well.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other comments? We'll move on to the director's final comments. Right.
Want to go this way?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that's running. It's wonderful to have an actual vote. I hope, Wendy, we do everything we can do to promote the election. First we need to get people so we can have an actual election. And next we need to make sure we get it out there so that people actually vote. So let's just do what we can, post stuff around here, make a little flyer, leave it in the congregate meals. And so I just want to thank everybody who raised their hand and a nominating committee for going through that process. That's it.
Any other comment, Leroy?
I'll say I got something. I was here last week. I was here before today, and I was actually leaving. This fellow had come in and was asking for a tour. And Megan was on the phone at the time. I said, "Come on, I'll give you a nickel tour," And he's from downstate, and he's got a cabin here over by behind Springport Inn. And I guess he's got several friends. He's been coming to Alcona County for the last 60 years, he said. And he's got several friends around him. Anyway, short story is, very impressed with the building. And he even said he doesn't know of anything downstate this nice. He said there's some bigger buildings, but not set up like this is, not with, like the equipment we have. And he was very impressed, and as he put it, he's going to collect all of his buddies and bring them over here. And he's already talking about joining. So,
Thank you.
And you did build a very nice building.
Thank you very much.
My nephew came too, and he's an athletic director on the other side of the state. And he was like blown away, totally impressed. He said, we're from like the Grand Rapids area, and he said that this building is one of the best buildings he's been
Yeah, like I said,
to.
I know the guy's name starts with an L, is the only I can think. But he was very impressed.
Yeah, so was Jared,
And
very, very impressed.
He plans on making use of the workout area, and, because I guess the screens are all, they do it downstate. He said, but it's a gym, but it's like the old style gym, maybe like a couple racks of weights over there, and they got a box thing or something, and he's not in the box. But he's very impressed. But was very happy to hear that.
Thank you. Any other director comments?
I would toss in with the last two comments. I have been contacted by someone who lives in Alpena, has membership at the Aplex, and says, I'm coming south for your building. It far exceeds what he has available to him, not to mention the cost.
Yeah. I also gave a tour of somebody who wanted to bring their father in, and it was during the farmer's market, so I gave him a tour to both of them, and the younger guy was so blown away with the workout area. He immediately FaceTimed his wife to show her all the stuff, FaceTimed his buddy, it's like, you gotta come up here, and his brother, trying to get everybody to sign up. And their similar situation.
Yeah,
They're
I'll
part-time
say so far that
residents.
I've seen everybody that comes in like it, and they want to start working out.
At 5 o'clock, it starts getting busy in here. And I have 2 volunteers that have been staying till 7. I'm usually here too, and I see all these kids come in, and one of the volunteers was telling me the other day that there's now a group of kids from Alpena that come down, and there's a group of kids from Oscoda usually every night around 6 that come in here. Awesome. So
That's good.
I had some comments. Obviously, the yoga, we call it the yoga room, but it's a classroom, whatever, back there. That specifically was designed for classes, yoga, whatever. So, Andy and the design team thought of that. So that I don't know if it's been used yet. I didn't even know people had been playing basketball. I've been out of commission, but Wendy, I was in there the other day, and she said people were playing basketball.
yeah, every day there's basketball. I don't know that there's really been any classes that go, but there are some ladies that bring their own yoga mats. They go back there, they do their own thing. I do know that.
So I did have a retired administrator from the school come in the other day who said he and his wife signed up, and they were very impressed with the front desk staff, how pleasant they were, and I said, was it Megan? Who was it? They didn't know who it was, but whoever was there got compliments from them. I think when Wendy does her budget, we're going to have to provide for higher, whether we call it IT or website costs, because we're going to be doing more promoting and more things than the website has probably. So I'm sure she'll take that into account. As far as the building itself, as you all know, I've gone over past minutes before I went on the board. I think it was June or July of 2022, where the executive director at that time said that they had hoped to be done with phase 1 of the project by 2027. Now, at that time, phase 1 was just the housing. So not only did Andy provide all phases of the project by the summer of 2025, essentially, he did it 60% more of a building than was allotted in contracts that we were asked to sign in late 22. He did everything for the cost. The building's 60% larger than what they had provided for just the building at a 30,000 square foot. So, I mean, sometimes you forget when you where we were and where we are now, you know, what Andy pulled off and in what time frame he pulled it off. With that, you know, like I said, they were just hoping to get the houses done by 2027. Here, we're done with everything. So keep that in mind. But I also agree with Ty. I mean, it's fantastic that so many people have stepped up to be on the board. I just hope the board considers the people who don't win, as well as previous board members, reach out, serve on a committee, you know, get the committees going. There's more than just the building that can be served on. Though there's other committees, policies, programs, finance, personnel, whatever. There, people can be involved without being on the board. So that's it.
Any other comments?
I think this is the most people that we've had to run for the board since I've been on the board, and I've been on the board at least 15 years now.
That's great.
Okay, if we have no more comments or concerns, we'll ask for a motion to adjourn, yeah.
I make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Rollins, seconded by Leroy. Our next meeting will be September 23rd at 10 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming.
You're welcome.
I'll just Band-Aid off.
Oh.